Hi, MP Mark Warawa with another exciting MP Minute, and we're at the Green Farm in North Langley, and this is really a special interview that I have a chance to do today. I'm with Kathy Barnard, a dear friend for many, many years. She's with Save Your Skin, and then we are with, well, all three of these beautiful ladies, or miracle ladies. Shannon Guadette and Maddie have a great story to tell. And it's a story about surviving when the prognosis was bleak. And so you're all three miracle ladies. And so Shannon, why don't you tell your story?
Should I hold it? I was diagnosed with melanoma for the first time in 2005 with a small lesion on my arm. And fantastically got connected to an oncologist in North Vancouver, Dr. Climo, and he followed me for about 2.5 years with different chest x-rays and ultrasounds and stuff because my lesion wasn't deep enough. Our cancer agents, local cancer agencies, couldn't follow me, so everything looked good. And then in 4.5 years later, so got on with my life, and I was working with youth, as I had done since I was 18. I was working with youth in Vancouver, sexually exploited youth, and I was in the shower one day, and I felt a big lump underneath my armpit, and didn't think anything much of it. I thought maybe it was just infected or from a cold or whatever, and then my husband pointed out that it was on the same arm as my melanoma had been 4.5 years earlier. So I got into my family doctor, who referred me back to Dr. Climo in North Vancouver, and he felt it and basically booked me for surgery that week. He was quite concerned about it. So I had surgery, and it did show positive for melanoma in the one large lymph node. The other 4 were fine. So I did radiation for 3 weeks. That actually went just from work. So this was in 2010 that I did it, and 3 weeks of radiation and a PET scan. Everything looked fine. He figured that everything would be good, but he kept following me with different scans and stuff. And we had some difficulties getting pregnant, and then when we did get pregnant, we had 3 miscarriages. So we decided, because of the melanoma coming back to stage 3, we would just not try and have a baby, because we just didn't think it was ethical or responsible to do, with my health not being kind of sure. So we ended up getting pregnant, which was a huge surprise at the end of 2010. But everyone reassured me that it would be fine, that because the PET scan was clear, everything looked great, and they weren't worried about a recurrence. And then I was 24 weeks pregnant, or it would have been 20 weeks pregnant at the time, and my foot went numb. But the doctors thought it was the sciatic, and it wasn't anything to do with the cancer. And then I felt like I had the flu. So I took a week off work, and then my symptoms progressed quite rapidly, but all of them could be explained by the pregnancy. And then by the 3rd week, we got into emergency at a local hospital, and it showed 2 really large brain tumors, melanoma tumors in my brain. So they did a emergency. Well, they got me to another hospital. They couldn't address my condition at the hospital where we were because of Maddie just being at 24 weeks gestation. So they shipped me to another hospital that could address the neonatal need and the brain surgery need. And so they did. 2 days later, I had surgery at at Royal Columbian, and by that time I had lost my ability to walk and talk, and but the surgery went really well. Dr. Chan was able to get both tumors out completely. So from there, it was a matter of rehabbing and learning to walk again, and then start my journey to be a mom. So she survived the surgery really well, and she was kept in utero for 2 months, and then she was delivered at 32 weeks. So we lived in the hospital for 2 months with her, and she was still in my tummy. And then she was delivered at 32 weeks, and then I started my cancer treatment. And ipilimumab was the systemic one, and I did 2 weeks of whole brain radiation. And then it's been basically the ipilimumab worked really well, but then I got a colitis response from it at the end of the 4 infusions, which prevented me from accessing any clinical trials because of the response I had. So it's just been surgeries and more surgeries and CTs, and so I've had 9 surgeries in total. I had lung surgery. I had a surgery on my left flank. I had a melanoma lump in my breast. And then I've had 2 very large small intestine, 2 large bowel resections in my small intestine. And now I'm on this amazing new drug called Pembro. And it's been amazing. After my large bowel surgery last April, where they took out 4 feet of my intestine, they found probably about a dozen tumors throughout my body, 5 that I could feel, and then half a dozen other ones internally, and so I started the Pembro last May, and those all completely resolved. There's no visible tumors. There's only 1 small little tumor now. I just had a PET scan. I've had 18 cycles of Pembro, and just 1 small 1.4 centimeter lesion in my small bowel that's left. So it's been a really great drug, but it's been a crazy 4 years, but an amazing one in the sense that we were able to connect with amazing supports. And I met Kathy in 2010. I just reached out to her, and we've been close friends ever since, and she's been a huge advocate for me and for Maddie, and I've learned how to advocate for myself medically through this amazing person in my life, and I feel very blessed to have her in my life. So it's just been, I think, I'm hoping one day maybe I will be able to be tumor free, but in the meantime, I'm here and Maddie's here, and we just make the best of every day, and because you just never know when you wake up in the morning what's going to happen, and it's just, yeah. Life is
a precious gift, isn't it?
It is.
So Kathy, you've had your own experiences in fighting against cancer, and in Shannon's story, she had to advocate, the family had to advocate, there was prayers that went up for you, and also there was, in her fight against cancer, there was experimental drugs that you advocated for, as you have many other people. I guess the main message is don't give up. Don't give up. Keep fighting and seeking and praying. And how did Save Your Skin? How did you play in? What role did you play in this?
Well, I met Shannon in 2010 before your lump had even, or had just come back under your arm.
Come back.
So we connected then. Shannon actually joined the board of our foundation, so she was a board member. And then when hers came back into the brain, I think that's really when Save Your Skin started really pushing and advocating for Shannon, because we had become very good friends. So we were there with her husband Brad right after her surgery and met with her oncologist in North Van, because at that time the Yervoy was just being approved, the ipilimumab was just being approved, and we wanted to make sure that Shannon would qualify, because sometimes on those clinical trials there's kind of barriers to who can get on the drug, and we wanted to ensure that Shannon got it. So she got the first 4 rounds. Unfortunately, she had the side effect for the 4th round, but really didn't matter because that's all the rounds you get with immunotherapy anyway. So then she's managed to hop herself, actually, with her wonderful attitude, to the new drug. And when Shannon's came back, the new Pembro and the Nevo, which is another PD-1 molecule, are already being used in the States. So we had already arranged for Shannon to get down to a doctor in California. But then as we were watching her life with her daughter and her family, we thought she shouldn't have to go anywhere. We should be able to get it right here. Yeah. So we went and met with her oncologist, Dr. Smiljanic, at which I know you got a phone call from me within 24 hours, at which you connected us to our health minister, Rona Ambrose. And somehow from there, I don't know how, and I don't really even need to know how, but somehow some wonderful magic happened. And Shannon's probably one of the longest Canadians on the Pembroke. That's the one she's on. She's just had her 19th or getting her 19th.
Tomorrow will be my 19th.
So somehow some wonderful magic happened in this country, and Shannon and Maddie and I are probably living proof of that. It's pretty cool.
It's a great story. And so the number one message that you can share with other Canadians or other people in the world that maybe get a terrible prognosis, the doctors say there's no hope. There is hope.
There is hope.
There is hope, and at Save Your Skin, because there's so many of us surviving now, we did the first ever, and it's never been done around the world, in melanoma. It's called I'm Living Proof. And so what we're trying to do now is connect all the melanoma patients, because Shannon's got a wonderful story, and she wants to help people that are being diagnosed behind her. So she's going to become a star in our map around the world, and she will connect, and she's doing that already. She's connecting with another young mom that's had a terrible prognosis, and she's connected, and it's never give up hope.
So Kathy, if people want to get in touch with you, Save Your Skin, how do they do that?
They can call us 24/7, and we will call you back within 15 minutes. That's our guarantee, or through our website, saveyourskin.ca.
And I think that's a big part of it, because for me, just having a lot of my friends who've been diagnosed with different kinds of cancers, they haven't had that key person to help navigate through the systems, and that's what Kathy's been for me. And it's knowing, because when I joined the board, I remember meeting you in 2010, and I said to my husband, I just said, I need to be, like, I just wanted to be around you as much as I could. I wanted to get all, like, you were so full of information that I wanted to be so informed, because in my gut, I thought this is going to come back, and when it does, I want to know who to talk to, what drugs are out there. And so to really, for a patient to be informed and find those people that can help you out and to navigate, because the system is so daunting if you're on your own. And I mean, a lot of people that I've talked to saying, we need a Kathy for colon cancer, we need a Kathy for uterine cancer, like, because there's not that support system, and that's what was so crucial for me to have, and that's why I feel it's giving back what Kathy gave to me with these other patients, because I'm paying it forward in that sense.
Well, thank you so much, Shannon, for sharing your story, and Kathy, and thank you to Ronna Ambrose, Minister of Health, for permitting the use of these drugs and saving lives. And so there is hope. Please check out Save Your Skin, and thank you so much.